Welcome everybody, welcome back to Homestead Heart. And for the time being, I am under this shade tree. So y'all could probably hardly see my face, but here I am. I'm under this shade tree, you all. And today I'm going to talk about mixing fish emulsion so you don't have problems with your crops. Somebody emailed me and said to me that they use fish emulsion and they believe it burned up their crops. And when I asked how did they mix it, well, they didn't mix it. So I've never known fish emulsion to burn your crops, you all, but you do have to mix. It probably will if you're just putting straight fish emulsion on there and it's a small plant. You might end up damaging the plant if it's a little seedling, right? So let me show you something here. Now, I always tend to purchase the this stuff is stinky, okay? But I always tend to use the Alaska fish fertilizer. It's called Fish Emulsion, aka Miss Linda over at the New Orleans Gardener. She refers to it as 511, which is what it is, right? It is 511, right? It's 5 nitrogen, 1 phosphorus, 1 potassium. So it is 511, but it's primarily nitrogen, okay? And you all, when you mix the fish fertilizer, it actually has the directions on the back of the bottle how to properly mix fish emulsion for your plants, okay? Now, many of you may recall that about a week or so ago, Mr. H and I, we planted our corn, all right? And so it's been about a week or maybe a few days, a weekend, a couple of days or something like that, but it's time for us to fertilize it. Yes, we did put the feather meal and some bone meal in the trenches where we planted it. That is a slow release fertilizer, so it will slowly, continuously feed the plants in that row for up to about 3 months or so, right? But because corn is primarily a grass, so to speak. It's a grass that produces food. Okay, so when you're growing corn, that particular plant needs, in my opinion, more nitrogen than some other crops, right? I would not be hitting my tomatoes with nitrogen every week. I would not do that. In fact, when I plant my tomatoes, I put that feather meal or blood meal down in the trenches or down in the hole where I'm planting it, you all. And I don't use any more nitrogen the entire time my tomatoes are in the ground, because the feather meal slowly feeds that plant the entire time that it's down. So I don't have to do that. However, with corn, it needs a lot of nitrogen to grow. And as you saw, this nitrogen level here is only a 5, all right? The feather meal, I believe, I don't remember. I think it was like a 15 or something like that, but it is a slow release. But that corn needs nitrogen right now, and it needs it every single week until it starts to set the corn, all right? When you start noticing little tassels and all of that, then no more nitrogen for your corn, okay? Every week you got to hit this corn with some nitrogen. And so I'm going to show you how I'm mixing my fish emulsion in order to feed the corn, all right? So what I have here, this is just one of those little 2-gallon sprayers that you don't have to get this brand, but I get this brand because this brand, it lasts a minute, okay? It's not the little cheap sprayer that'll go out on you in a couple of months, depending on where you get it from, all right? So this one right here, I have 3 or 4 of them, and I've actually had them. This is the 3rd year that I have had this particular sprayer, all right? And I bought a new one I bought a new one. I think we bought a new one and didn't need it because we realized we had enough. Now, when you buy these little sprayers here, make sure that whatever you're using them for, you all, try to keep to that, okay? Like I have a sprayer that I use specifically for a fungicide, a fungicide or a fungicide like liquid copper. I don't put anything else in that. In fact, I have it labeled that it's a fungicide, okay? And I wrote that in a permanent marker on the outside so I'll know not to mix any other solution in that container except for the liquid copper, and that's it, okay? So now in this one right here, this is my fertilizing container, and I can use this one with liquid phosphorus if I wanted to. I can use it for the liquid nitrogen. It doesn't matter. All I have to do is just, in fact, I can mix them in together if I wanted to. So those two fertilizers I use in this container only, and I will not mix anything else in here, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and show you. I'm gonna get this mixed up. I think y'all can see pretty good. You don't wanna get this stuff on you, okay? I'm gonna just lower you down just a little bit more so you all can really see. Okay. Just making sure ain't nothing on my hand, okay? All right, you all. So now, the way you mix this, you're gonna mix 2 tablespoons per gallon. I don't stand out here with a tablespoon to measure. I kind of eyeball it. It's okay if it's 2.5 tablespoons. That's no big deal, okay? But it is 2 tablespoons per gallon. My container is a 2-gallon container, so it'll be 4 tablespoons for me, and I just kind of eyeball it, okay? Don't get this stuff on you. And that's pretty much how I do it. Let me put that down. I always rinse that container off. Because knowing me, I'll rub that jug right up against me and forget I did it, okay? And then I'm gonna go ahead and add water. Make sure I rinse my container off too. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and fill this up to the fill line with water, which is just at the neck, about right here. Or the shoulders, not the neck, but at the shoulders. All right. And it does get a little foamy as you're filling it up, okay? Oh man, that's too much. Okay, so then I'm just gonna tighten my lid here. I hope. I don't want to rub that up against my clothes, y'all, and be smelling like fish emulsion. So I always rinse it off, okay? All right, so now we're gonna go over here, and it's time for me to water my corn. Now I have already started on the corn. Oops. I have already started on the corn already, and I'm just about finished with the rows. I've even had to replace some of the corn since we planted it. Just something came in and just snipped it right off, right? And some of it just died. Could have been transplant shock. It could have been a number of reasons, but a couple of them just got snipped off. Wascally wabbits. I know that's what it is, a wabbit, right? It's wabbit season, okay? So, so I have already replaced them all except one. I don't know how I overlooked it, but I did. I pulled it out, but I didn't add in the new plug for the corn. So what I am going to do is just, I've already watered, I put some fish emulsion in that spot where the corn is gonna go, because I was already working on that row and I wasn't coming back to it with the fish emulsion. So what I am gonna do is just come back after I finish and just pop that last little plug in where I'm missing one of the corn plants, okay? But you all, we're gonna have to go in the sun. Yes, it's another hot day, you know, and I don't know, I got out here a little earlier than I normally would, you know, depending on what I'm doing. You know, I got out in the garden a little earlier, that is, not outside, but in the garden, because, you know, it's always other things to do. But I came out, and one of the things that I started working on was my cucumbers, because I had to plant more cucumber seeds. Some of them came through that cold snap perfectly fine. Others were a little bit damaged, and you can see the damage on the leaves, and some just died altogether. So now that I'm confident the temps are going to remain in the 60s overnight, I went ahead and just popped some more seeds in the ground. I prefer to start my cucumber seeds and transplant them out so the birds don't come and get at my seeds like they've done already. I had some sunflower seeds that I planted, you all, for the great sunflower grow off. And when I came out and looked this morning, they had been scratched out and chewed on, and I know a bird did that, right? I'm telling you, they sit on that wire up there, that line. When I come out here to plant seeds, they sit and watch me. You're like, she thinks she's gonna get something, but she's not. We're gonna eat those, Susan. Okay, so I don't know what my chickens are fighting over, but they snatching and running, and then somebody else snatch and run, but they fighting over something they didn't got. But you all, I'm gonna go ahead now and get my fish emulsion over there. I'm gonna take me a sip of water, because I'm working real hard to stay hydrated out here in this heat. I saw that robin sitting up there on the fence line. They just be watching me, y'all. They be watching me. All right, let's get this into place. And then I'm gonna grab the camera, and we're gonna go over, you all, and finish watering the corn. So I'm gonna have to maneuver this heavy 2-gallon container of water and the camera at the same time. So y'all bear with me. Mr. Guinea is up under the tree making all kind of noise because he wants the rest of his crew to join him. But they like, bruh, whoops, it's hot out there, man. All right, you all, we're almost there. We're almost there. Woo! Thank y'all for following me over here to the corn patch. Sit that jug down. That jug is heavy. Okay, you all, so I am somewhere back up in there, but I'm literally just going to show you all real quick how I'm watering my corn, okay? So you all can see. Now, wait a minute. There we go. All right, now all I'm gonna do, and I just carry this down the row here, you all, and I literally just, there we go. I hope y'all can see that. Then I move on to the next one. just like so. And this is actually pretty easy to do, and it doesn't even take long to do. And I'm aiming directly at the base of the corn. Okay. And this is really all I do with the nitrogen to fertilize this corn. Now these corn plants are rather small. Okay, let me sit that down. So these corn plants are rather small, you all. As you can see, now don't get me wrong, they are growing, and they are growing very well, as you can see. They are all growing very well. They are of course they're larger than when we planted them a week ago, and you can literally see the growth on them in just a week's time, right? You can literally tell, you can see the growth on them. So they're doing very well. They're doing very well to say it's only been a week or so. And like I said, I'm aiming this directly at the base of this plant, and I'm making sure that I'm getting this directly to the roots. I'm not foliar feeding this with liquid nitrogen, okay? I'm going straight for the roots where this would be most beneficial, okay? And how much am I putting on here, approximately? So now it's actually depending on the size of the plant. Because some of these, like this one, some of these are much larger than others. Say like this one here. This one is much larger. So this one has a larger root system, right? So I'm actually feeding them approximately a half a cup of the liquid nitrogen per plant, approximately, okay? So you all, I have done all of these 3 rows like that already, and these are the last 2 that I'm finishing up here. So far, this is my 3rd fill up here, so there's been about 6 gallons of water and 12 tablespoons of the fish emulsion, okay? Wait a minute, that's 4 times 3, yeah, 12, right? Yeah, I believe. Wait, no, I'm wrong. It's 2 tablespoons per gallon. Yeah, and I got a 2-gallon tank, so that's 4 tablespoons per container, and 3 containers is 12. So yeah, okay, yeah, I'm doing the math on camera. That's right. So 12 tablespoons of the fish emulsion, and a total of 6 gallons of water, and that's all I have used. And I have done the back already. I only have a handful of them left to do in these last 2 rows here. And one thing I'm going to show you, if you look down these rows here, the weeds are already coming. Come on, let me show you. The weeds are already oh my goodness, that little bit of shade feels so good from the clouds. Let me sit this right here. Can y'all see? Yeah. All right, can y'all see down this row? I don't know if y'all can see all of the green here, but all of these are all weeds coming up in these rows. So now, Mrs. H, what in the world are you going to do about it? I'll tell you. I have strips of the ground cover. I think we cut them in 1-foot sections because we were using them for something else and we didn't need a whole 4-foot section. So we cut them down to either 1 or 2-foot strips, some of them. And I'm gonna take those 1 or 2-foot sections and they're gonna go in between these corn rows here. And then I'm gonna put one up against that fence line, because as you can see on the other side of the fence, this field right here, you all, is about to be mowed, okay? And once this field gets mowed, you all, we are preparing once again for the goldenrod season. And so in order to do that, we have to cut all of this down so that come late summer, going into the fall, we will be having that beautiful goldenrod again. And I hope to harvest more goldenrod again in the fall, but that's a different topic. All right, now what I'm gonna do is get that black ground cover and I'm gonna line it up along the sides over there, and then we'll have ground cover going along here in the rows, okay? Now, once this corn gets a little bit larger, I'm coming back with my mulch hay out of one of my goat barns, and we are going to mulch all around the corn plants, okay? I don't know if you've ever seen corn grow, you all, but they have these feet, is what I'm calling them, okay? But they have these feet that kind of grips on to the ground to kind of help them to be stabilized when the wind is blowing, right? It just kind of helps them to stabilize themselves in the ground. And so what I typically would do, because I plant them in trenches this way, and then I pull the soil over the corn, kind of like what I do with potatoes, but it actually gives something more for those feet to hold on to. And then I come back with some mulch and mulch over the top. And what that's going to do is help to hold in the moisture, okay? So I need these corn, I need for them to get, I don't know, about a foot, right? About a foot tall. And once they get to be about a foot tall, I'll come back and I'll pull some more soil around them, and then that's when I will mulch them with the hay, okay? Now, am I going to put the irrigation on top? No, I'm not. The irrigation is going to stay right where it is, and it's going to be underneath the mulch hay because it's a drip system, right? And I don't want drip trying to find its way through 6 inches of hay in order to get to the root system of my corn plants. So the drip irrigation only for the corn is going to stay underneath the mulch hay. Now in my other garden beds, the drip, I love to see it sitting on top because it makes it easier for me to know if I have a problem with my irrigation anywhere along the line, right? If water's not coming out somewhere, if there's some damage, I can easily find it for the remainder of the garden. But for the corn, because of mulching, I have to put it underneath the mulch hay. All right, so you all, I'm gonna get back to fertilizing the rest of my corn. and then I'm going to move on to something else. This is the cucumber right here. Whoops. So this is my cucumber trellis right here. And maybe I'll do a separate video talking about the cucumber, so this video is just not too long, okay? But this is the cucumber trellis that I had to go back and replant some of my cucumbers down this row. Some of them are growing, and you can tell by the empty spaces that we lost some, but that's okay. Drop them seeds right on in there. Keep it moving, okay? Well, all right, y'all, that's gonna do it for this video. Fertilizing the corn patch is what I'm doing. And again, I will do this every single week. Today is Tuesday, May 9th. Okay? Tuesday, May 9th. So by next Tuesday, I need to be out here fertilizing this again. Tuesday, Wednesday at the latest. The only thing that will kind of push that back would be if we had some rain, okay? And another thing I will tell you is that you don't want to put your fish emulsion down and then water, okay? You don't want to do that. You want the roots, you don't want that fertilizer to be washed away by the water. You want the corn to have an opportunity to sit in that fertilizer and feed from it, okay? So this garden here has already been watered, all right? It has already been watered. We watered it yesterday evening. It's not really hot enough to water it daily as of yet. So we watered it yesterday evening pretty good. And then I came back today with the fish fertilizer, and this garden will be watered again tomorrow. But right now, they just need to feed on that fish emulsion, okay? Well, all right, y'all, that's gonna do it for this video. If you haven't done so already, go ahead and give the video a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any videos we upload to our channel. I want to thank you all again for watching Homestead Heart. Peace and blessings to each and every one of you, and I will see you in the next video. And remember, you all, grow your groceries. See you in the next one.